Here's my Honda PA50 Hobbit. It's Mark 1. And I've been working on it, and I tell you, I had it out and I was riding all over the neighborhood with it. I had a ball. I got one problem. I've got it going. Everything seems to be working, but it's not stopping really well. That's the rear wheel. And this right here is the brake lever that goes into the hub. That's the freewheel. You can see that's the pedal chain. And this seems to be binding. Sometimes it sticks in, and it seems like it's kind of loose. To get the tire off, I'm going to have to remove the chain, the brake cable, and these two bolts. Also remove this belt and these two bolts on this side, and I believe the tire will fall away from the bike. I've been thinking a good way to get the chain off might be just to take this this belt, this chain tensioner completely off, let it dangle, loosen that chain up enough to get it right off. There it goes. Spin off the nut on the brake cable, and it kind of freed that up over time. It was a little tight at first, and first I had to put a pair of pliers to hold the cable part from spinning, but now it's fairly free. So I'm going to pull it all the way out through the access hole and set it aside so it doesn't get in the way. Now there's the brake lever, and you see it goes kind of far forward. I'll loosen the bolts that hold the wheel on. Okay, I've got those both loose, and I'll go over to the other side and take the bottom bolt out and loosen the top one, and I should be able to get the rollator belt off. Let's go look. Take this one all the way off. It's got a spacer on it, by the way. It's to help you make it easier to tension, I think. There's a slot here so you can tension the wheel back and forth to get the tension correct on this belt. You see the wheel's quite loose already. Loose enough to get the belt off. Now I'll take this side off. It's going to fall off, isn't it? Yeah, good. And let's get the other side. Okay, the tire is loose. And looks like I have to lift the bike to get it out. Well, both my hands were, didn't have a chance to turn on the camera, but all I did was lifted up the bike and held the tire with my leg, and here it is, out of the bike. This is the square part right here that you put the wrench on to loosen this whole assembly here. This is actually a huge nut with this attached to it. Everything you ever heard about getting this nut off is true. I had it off once before, and it still was a little hard to get off this time, but I've loosened it already, so just a warning. That is hard to get off. I'm turning it counterclockwise, and it's coming right off. Now the whole freewheel assembly comes off. The whole freewheel assembly comes off with that nut, and that's what holds the wheel bearings against, I don't know. So you can see this is a little loose. Now I couldn't get this freewheel off of that nut for the life of me. Right there, see it bound. So I just rebuilt it in place. Anyway, back to the brakes. Once you get that off, this lifts right off here. And on looking at these pads, I didn't know they were this worn. I thought I had a little more left. Let me show you. You can see that it's just maybe less than a, or this one is less than a 1/16 already, so that's way low. And here's how the mechanism works. Here's the lever. You can see that little, I guess, cam just pulls sideways and forces the brakes apart.